I'm gonna have to start looking for a way, like a standard way to introduce an episode on this podcast. Like, because I get sick and tired of going like, "Hey guys, how are you doing?" That does not work because I know no one's listening. Because I know there's no one listening, so I'm gonna have to look for another intro, or maybe I could just jump right into to the to just what I wanted to talk about. Because yeah, I don't know. Like, should I create like an intro song, like "Welcome to the Jackson Nanjero podcast," badu badu badudu bap 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 bap, like an intro song. Um, I should also maybe change the name, Jackson Nanjero podcast. Huh? I couldn't you come up with something else? Maybe I could. Maybe yeah. I'll come up with a name further down the line. I don't know. I don't know what to call this. It's just me talking into my phone. So, what do you want me to call this, huh? It's just me talking to my phone in my studio. No, I'm not in a studio. It's just me talking to my phone in my house. Simple. It's just me talking. So, I guess I don't know what I can call this. If you have any suggestions, please tell me, because I have no idea. But I think the name is nice, Jackson Nanjero podcast. It's nice. It's nice. Or just Nanjero podcast. Maybe. It's nice. Maybe that should stick. I've been thinking. Yeah, this is not like recently. It's been like a long time now. I've been like for a couple of years now. I've been obsessed with death. I don't know if people have this, like you just get to a point where you're so obsessed with death, just thinking about death. What does death mean? What does it mean? Because people just walk around, so oblivious. Are people really, no, people know they're gonna die, but it's just amazing to me how death is hidden from plain sight. Like, because death is everywhere. People die every day. Like, I saw somewhere that I think 100,000 people, over 100,000 people for sure, over 100,000 people die every day. And which is like an insane number if you think about it. And it got me thinking I should probably go into the funeral business. I'm gonna be balling. Yeah, those guys. Listen, if you're able to just get through the whole, like, the whole just being around people who are grieving, I think funeral businesses are the thing, because people are always dying. There's always market. Like, it's one of those, like, those guys make a lot of money, especially like the big funeral homes. When, let's say a head of state dies and then those guys are swimming in money. I was once at this place where this guy makes caskets, caskets and just funeral accessories, I guess. He's making so much money because there's always demand. People are dying every day. People are dying, and the guys are swimming in money. It's not many people would want to do that business, but for those who are willing, swimming in money. But death, ooh wee. Like, I remember when I just, because when you're a kid, you don't really think about death. You never really internalize. The honest reality of death never really sinks in properly when you're a child, but it starts to kind of hit you as you grow up, and you start losing people, maybe your friends, or you just lose someone, and then when it actually hits you that person is never coming back, then you go like, there's a feeling you get. It's so hard to explain, but that feeling that you get when you first like realize that when you die you're not coming back, it's so strange. Like, you just go like, it's just like, what? So that's it. Like that is the period at the end of this sentence of life. That's it. That's the end. He or she is not coming back. And when it just hits you, sometimes it's just like, I'm at a loss of words now, because I don't know how to properly convey the feeling that you get. It's even more intense when you start considering your own death. Like, so I'm not gonna be around anymore. Like, at some point, I'm gonna die, and people are gonna bury me, and at some point there's gonna be a funeral, and then they're gonna bury me, and then there's gonna be a gravestone with my name on it, with my birth date, and then the day I die. When you start thinking about all that, it's extremely horrifying. For some reason, I don't know why. Maybe it's because we just don't know where we are going, because everyone kind of has their version of, like, oh, when you die, here's where you go. When you die, here's where you go. Like, cultures and religions, everyone has their story, but I tend not to buy into anyone's story, because I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go when I die, and so does anyone else. No one knows. If you're being, like, frankly honest, no one really knows what happens. It's just because I really feel like it's just like we make up stories to just comfort ourselves. Like, oh, when you die, you're gonna go to this place. Because if you really consider if you really consider this, like, maybe if you die, there's nothing. Maybe, I don't know, but I'm starting to lean. I'm starting to lean more towards that perspective. Like, maybe if you die, there really is nothing. Maybe it's sort of like before you were born. Do you remember that period before you were born? Yeah, of course you don't, because you didn't exist. And I'm starting to feel like that's what death is. It's just like there's nothing. It's just this deep sleep, this deep eternal sleep, that you will never wake up from. And in this sleep of death, you're not really dreaming. It's just nothing. Those nights where you just sleep and you don't dream. It's like, to me, that's what death is like. But then you don't wake up. You never wake up, and that's really horrifying. But then there's nothing to be scared of, because it's coming either way, and no one talks about this. I wish people would talk about death more, to just get into grips with what we're dealing with, because wow. At some point we're not gonna be around anymore, and there's so much to unpack from that. Like, there's so, like, you can use that to actually guide how you live, because death now gives life, like, a sense of urgency. And you just, because like, your time here is limited. But we don't live like that. We just live like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be around forever. But no, we're gonna die. Like, I'm also guilty of this. Like, sometimes I go, like, I start making plans, for just plans for myself for when I'm like 60. But then who told me I'm gonna live to 60? Who told me? No one knows. No one knows. But wow, death is so amazingly like, it is just so terrifying. It is the most terrifying thing, like, ever. And maybe that's why people don't want to talk about it. Maybe. But yeah, you can't just help but sometimes it just hits you out of the blue that, wow, I'm actually gonna die. So what do I do about that? How do you deal with that? And well, there's nothing you can do, to be honest, because it's coming. It's coming. To use an analogy I had, it's like there's a bomb being dropped. Now the bomb, when the bomb explodes, that's death. But there's a bomb above us. It's being dropped, and it's falling. But we don't know how far it is, and at some point it's gonna hit us. And Yeah, I mean that's when that's when death happens. But man, what is this death thing? People just never talk about it. And you'd be amazed how common, like how frequently death happens. Like, because I think it was just yesterday I saw this guy on a motorcycle. He was he was hit by a car. I'm pretty sure he was dead. Because it was a nasty accident. Like, but there's these things like, when you see, when the police usually come and then clean up the whole scene, and people don't get to see death, so we don't really think about it. But I think it helps to think about death, because you kind of you reassess your priorities in life, because when you really think about your own death, when you just really just meditate on your own mortality, you realize that life is just full of lots of bullshit things. Many of the things you worry about, they don't matter. They don't matter, and they never will matter. This, I'm not saying you should never worry, but we tend to worry about the small stuff, things that they really don't count. Like I was worried. Like, I just worry about very, very, very small things, which when you really think about your death and the fact that you're gonna die, you're gonna start to kind of consciously choose the things that worry you. Like, you just start to go, like, you just go like, is this really big enough for me to worry? And you're like, no, I shouldn't worry. What is this? Like, it's nothing, because in 2 days this won't be a problem anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes I get pissed at very small things. Like, let's say, like, just very small things. Like, maybe someone is rude to me, like, for no reason. I mean, yes, it can get to me, but it shouldn't get to me, like, to like ruin my whole day. Because some people, they just, maybe they're just an asshole, or maybe he himself is having a bad day. He or she, maybe they're just having a bad day. But it's important sometimes to not let these things get to you. You just, and you get this a lot when you think about death. You're like, yeah, this is no big deal. Nothing is ever really a big deal. And when you really think about death, it's almost impossible to take life seriously. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, you just see the things that people worry about. Oh, this guy. I mean, just watch the news. I swear to you, like 90% of all the things that are on the news are just things that don't matter. To you, at least. But we cannot help but worry about, finances, money. I mean, it's given. You should worry, but maybe you should not let them get to you. At your core. Don't let them phase you. And today I am starting to feel like a motivational speaker. What is going on? But yeah, it's death, man. Death is it's amazing. Because some part of me, this might be a little dark, but some part of me is actually happy that I'm gonna die one day. Yeah, like, I feel good that one day I'm gonna die. It's a good, because the world is so ridiculously crazy. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be here. This is too much. What is this? Fuel prices rising. The usual stuff. Just everything is expensive. You can't afford anything. It's just like, sometimes you go like, yeah, man, I'm kind of happy that one day I'm out. It's kind of a good thing, but I mean, which makes sense, because who wants to live forever? Like, think about it. Would you really want to live forever? No, I don't want to live forever. Because there's people who are like, oh, anti-aging is like scientists in labs working on things. And I'm like, that's not for me. I do not want to live forever. I have no desire to I don't have that in me. Like, like, I want to live 500 years. Like, listen, I've been here for 23 and I'm already sick of this place. So now I'm just trying to, like, enjoy what I can. That's kind of what I'm doing, because 500 years with humans. No way. No way. That's too much. I cannot live. I've been here for like quarter of a century, and I'm already tired. So I just cannot do that. It's impossible. Like, I don't want to live forever. I don't know if you do, and if you do, good for you. I hope they'll figure something out for you, but I don't. I just wanna, I feel like the shortness of life kind of what makes it special, Because if you could let's say you'd live for 1,000 years, okay, and you wanted to do something, there's a project in life that you wanted to do, and you're gonna be around for 1,000 years, right? Will you ever do that project? Like, let's say you are sure that you're gonna live for 1,000 years, and now let's say you're 30 years old, yeah, and there's something you've always wanted to do. You're never gonna do it. You're gonna be like, hey, I have like 970 years remaining here. I can do this thing anytime I want. Now imagine living forever. You'd never do anything. You just sleep on the couch watching TV for eternity. Like, there wouldn't be that like sense of urgency that you have, because now the shortness of life kind of makes it like, because now the shortness of life and the randomness of death, because I don't know when I'm gonna die. So that's kind of what makes us like, hey, I want to do this. There's projects we're working on. There's things we want to do. Like, that's what makes you do things, because if you could live forever, you wouldn't do anything. Life wouldn't be fun. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't be fun. It's fun because it's short. It's fun because we're only here temporarily. That's what I think. So, oh, but it's scary as hell. Oh, it's so scary. Just the darkness. It's not even darkness. It's nothingness. I think there's a difference between darkness and nothingness. It's just nothing. There's nothing beyond the other side. Or rather, that's what I think. Maybe you think there's an afterlife. That's a whole other story. Well, I hope there isn't one, because if there's an afterlife, then it beats the whole point of death, doesn't it? Like, I'm dead and then I'm conscious again. And it's still me, and that means that I'm still gonna be alive, and I don't want to be alive. So I just want to stay. I'd prefer if I could stay dead. I don't want to go to heaven or hell. Maybe I wish there was a staying dead option. I want to stay dead. I don't want to continue living for eternity in hell or in heaven, because I don't know, that doesn't sound as fun to me. I just want my time to be over. My time is over. Good. I'm out. Peace. And call it a life. But wow, yeah, maybe you guys, or whoever you're listening to this, maybe you can think about your own death more, because it has this profound effect. You just you become more empathetic to people, because then you realize that they're also gonna die, and we're not here forever. So it just makes you a nicer person. You should really think about death. Just really just close your eyes and imagine not being around anymore forever. Just really think about it, and it does wonders to you. Like, it's important to do it like every once in a while, to just think about just not being around, and just wow. Yeah, this is something I think about a lot, by the way. And I don't know, it just makes you kind of reassess your goals in life, because you're like, yeah, I'm gonna die one day. So what do I really want out of this life thing? What do I really want? Like, what do you really want? In the face of death, you're gonna know. You're gonna do what you want if you really think about it, because you're like, hey, I'm here. I'm not here forever, so I might as well just do something that I enjoy, something that I love. And that's the effect that death has on you. Sorry, it's a beautiful effect, I think. And I love you guys. Whoever, I love you to that one person who's listening, whoever, I love you, and stay safe and think about death, please. Bye bye.